There's an ocean, and the ocean is made of, let's say, 1 billion drops. So each one of the 1 billion drops is special. But in the light of the ocean, there's no drops. So you want meaning as a drop, but the drop doesn't exist. You want a meaning, the drop disappears and there's an ocean, and the ocean gives you the meaning. So if you want to be special, you need to be a drop, which is an illusion because you're the water in the ocean. But there is a drop, technically, but if you're a drop, there is no more ocean for you. You lose the experience of the ocean, which gives meaning and direction to your life, but you have the experience of being quote-unquote special. But are you really special if you're 1 out of 1 billion? You're not. So it's an illusion. And the illusion is created by the mind. That's what the mind does. Well, an untamed, untrained mind, that's what it does. And why would it do that? Because it needs to compensate for a problem that you have, and this is what I'm pointing at. Well, yeah, because you're unplugged. So some may say you're unplugged because of the mind, or others may say the mind is activated because you're unplugged. It doesn't really matter how you want to look at it. The point is, as long as you're holding on to the idea that you're special, you're holding on to a lie. If that was a fact, who's going to argue with you? No, it's a lie. Intellectually, it makes no sense. It's a lie. If you just understand a little bit of life, you're like, well, I just told you the example of the forest. I'm like, I don't understand what makes you special. So the conversation is not about that. The conversation is, who am I? To what do I belong? And what is my function within that space? Then I don't have time to be special or not special. And then every single drop in the ocean makes the ocean. So how is one more important than the other? No, I'm special. Great. So that means something has to shield you from reality, and then you have to create a false reality. And that's what the modern world allows. And that's what the metaverse is going to allow you to do. It allows you to create, it allows to entertain your fantasy. I'm Drake. I'm special. How many Drakes are there? 1. How many people try to be Drake? So many. There's only 1. I'm special. Can you tell a Drake he's not special? He may not feel special inside himself on his own, but we'll never know because we don't know Drake. But Drake is special in the eyes of people who know who Drake is. He's one of the most special person ever. So he's literally, his persona, aka his ego, ahamkar, is proving to himself that he's special. Yeah, so he's living his illusion. But deep inside, in fact, doesn't even need to be deep inside, maybe just like one layer beneath, he may be very depressed and sad and despondent and uninterested because it doesn't nourish him. How can it nourish him? It's not the ocean. It's totally meaningless. But for your average person who has no meaning in their lives and are lost, this is amazing. Drake is amazing, and Drake saved my life with his song Midnight Bling, or I don't know how it's called, right? And he saved my life, and I listened to that song. I was going to kill myself, and I listened to Midnight Bling. Hot light bread, whatever, you know. And then he saved my life, and oh yeah, I saved you. My music touches people. Yeah, great, congratulations. It's not the point. So that's what I'm trying to say. I guess it's hard for people to understand what I'm saying. Or it's hard for you to understand. Yeah. Because there's another kind of experience that you most likely never had. For you, happiness is I'm special. And I've materialized my specialness. And I can prove to others I'm special, which distinguishes me from the other people. And of course, that means a woman will recognize I'm special. And the woman will want to be with me because I'm special. Hence, I'm going to be now afforded love, respect, admiration, a blowjob, because I'm special. And if I'm not special, I'm not going to get a pussy. I'm not going to get love because the woman is the one who gives you love. So this is a certain mind frame. And I'm trying to say, well, there's a reality outside of that mind frame. Not only that, that mind frame never succeeds. Study people who have had what you wish you had. They're miserable. Well, what does that say? It means that doesn't work. That's what it says. That means that this way of approaching it doesn't work. Yeah, right. So that's your job to analyze it. If I can help you to make sense of this, but then you for yourself have to come to that realization. Well, I'm looking for something. Yeah, I'm looking for meaning. Well, where is the meaning? Well, I have to know who I am and to what I belong. Therefore, what is my function? That means I'm in a current and I'm a servant of that current. So, for that current, I'm special. So it's giving me all its attention, all its juice. Yeah, but it's doing the same to the next drop right next to you as if it's plugged in. And do you care? No, you don't, because you're special. Everyone's special, but you're not special. So the conversation of specialness is only when we're speaking of a hamkar, the so-called ego, and the need to be unique, which is a delusion. Just look, go to the metro station, go to the bus stop, go to the airport. There's billions of people, hundreds of people, millions of people, thousands of people. Go to India, go to the mall, and every single one person, first of all, looks just like you in a way. Some shorter, some fatter, some prettier, some uglier. They're identical, and every single one of them is in their mind thinking and trying to construct their characters and trying to find solutions to their endless problems. Each one of them has a father and a mother somewhere, somehow. Each one of them has friends or not friends. Each one is going through exactly the same thing as you in a totally different way. And each one thinks they're absolutely, completely unique. Just do the exercise. Everyone, including the person who's ugly and thinks she's the worst. She may be the first person who thinks she's so special. Everyone's competing as to who's the most special. Well, intelligence requires you to take a moment and stop and say, but wait a minute. Everyone thinks they're special. When I was a neophyte in the game of so-called spirituality and religious studies and all this shit, I was studying this very deeply, and I thought I had figured it out. And I was very happy, and I enjoyed going to battle against other people with their ideologies. So I go speak to the Hare Krishna people, and I'd smash it out with the Christians, and with a Baptist, and with a Muslim, any opportunity I had to battle, I would battle, right? And at some point I got bored of it. It didn't take quite long that I got bored of it because I realized the conversation went nowhere. Then I kind of stopped and I started to listen to the person, and I realized, well, this person believes themselves 100%. For them, this is the truth. And I'm sounding just the same. And if you talk to that person, it's just the same. And I said, well, something's wrong. Everybody fundamentally believes that they are the truth. And there's nothing I'm going to do to convince that person otherwise. Unless I demolish them, but let's not get into that one, right? So the same goes. Everybody thinks it's special. But when you zoom out, you're like, you think you're special. When you zoom out, what do you realize? Well, everybody is in their bubble. They think and believe exactly the same thing as you. So clearly, something's funny. And at that point, in regards to so-called religious studies or spirituality, I was like, well, what's the truth then? Every individual thinks they're the truth. You go on Twitter, go on Instagram, go on YouTube, everybody, this is the truth. This is it, this is it, this is it, this is it. I'm not saying it's not, or it is. I'm saying, yeah, but everyone says that. And everybody's ready to fight for their so-called truth. Everybody's special. Everybody is a messenger. Everybody's this, everybody's that. I'm not saying they are, I'm not saying they're not. I'm like, well, intelligence requires, just like, well, zoom out for a second. I'm like, well, what the fuck is going on? Is it possible that everyone knows the truth? Is it possible that all these people are technically identical? They are all growing up, will grow old, get sick and die, every single one of them. Is it possible that everyone is so special, yet there's what's special? Well, he's tall and strong. Yeah, so is that one, and so is that one, and so is that one. This one's short and ugly, so that's special also. You know, I've never thought of that. This one's short and ugly. He's fucking special too. This one, she's gorgeous, and this one's hideous. That's special. How many hideous people do you find? Well, she's special. Anyways, I don't know if you're following, because I'm talking to guys here and they have a hard time with that one. So we have to slow down so that they can process this. So bear with us. So anyways, intelligence requires, I'm repeating myself, it's like, well, when you observe this, well, how am I special if everybody thinks they're special? That's what I'm trying to tell you. And within those, that means a galaxy, a group of people who are all special, then there's a few who are actually special, who are here. And you're like, wow, he's achieved specialness. And then we worship them. Living vicariously through them and wishing that one day our moment will come where people will recognize how special we are. They've made it. What have they made? They've made it into the realm of the special. Now, I don't want to, this is not a disrespect to this, it's just to say, well, if you actually spoke to the person, they're quite ordinary. And their thinking process is identical to everybody else. They're special. They're the greatest, everybody else is not. And at the end of the day, they have a fundamental deep emptiness they're trying to fill. And they have their strategy just like the next person. So how are they special? Everybody's the same. We just said the same. They have the deep fundamental emptiness they're trying to fill. The strategy to fill it is different according to what you've been given. Right? But every single person is trying to fill that emptiness. So Drake is trying to fill that emptiness just as much as that kid working at Starbucks. There's no difference. So where's the specialness? They're doing the same thing. Anyway, when this dawns on you, and I wrote this in my bio, go check it out on my website. At some point, this hit me. I'm like, this is bullshit. It's not working. It's not I have a problem with that. I have no problem with anything. I'm a practical person. I've told you before. I'm like, it doesn't work. So no matter what I do, it's never fulfilling me. And there's always then somebody more special than me, so then I have to be more special than them. And if I'm more special than them, that means I'm more special than these people. So I have to, it's insane. And you never get anywhere. It's like an endless journey towards nowhere that never fulfills you. So I don't care. If it works for you, enjoy. What I'm trying to say is that at some point I realized this doesn't make sense. I'm addicted to something that is not doing it. So what's the point of continuing if I'm not getting what I want? Which is not to feel special, it's to find peace. You want to feel special so that you can be in peace with yourself. Otherwise, you hate yourself. And if you're special, then you don't hate yourself. So you, quote unquote, at peace. So what you're really looking for is peace. So I'm like, well, it doesn't work. How can I be special if he's more special? He's just destroyed my specialness. So I have to kill him or destroy him. What kind of life is that? So that's what your average person is doing. So I realized this fairly early on, and I said, this doesn't make any sense. And came along a wise person who said, listen, this is bullshit. You can see for yourself. And there's another way of life. You can go walk on that path, but the specialness has to go. It's not, I made myself, I'm not special. This is bullshit. The disease that creates that mental schism in yourself has to be healed. So, because there's a reason you're thinking this way. And I told you it's because you unplug, so you got to replug and you got to get nourished. And when you start to get nourished, your mind changes. It doesn't think the same way. And then from that place, you're like, I don't fucking care. I'm not looking for special, not special. I'm looking to who am I? What do I belong to? And fulfill my function and be in the flow of that. That's what I'm looking for, because that's what fulfills me. Special, not special, I don't care. Your opinion on the outside about me is irrelevant to me. Meaning if you think, oh, he's so amazing, that's your opinion. Oh, this guy's a moron. It doesn't matter. What fulfills me is that I'm in a flow. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. So again, this is food for thought, and it's for you need to observe things. Because we're all in the same situation. Everybody's in the same boat. And then, yeah, you go on the internet and what do you see? Special people. This guy's got 100,000 followers. This one's got 50. This one's got 300. This one's got 1.2 mil. So they must be special. And some of them are quote unquote special compared to you. They're extraordinary. Yeah, but their behavior is identical as you. They're looking to feed. And they're feeding off of you. And you'll feed off of somebody else who'll give you the time of day. And if you're at the quote unquote bottom rung, you can't feed off of anybody. But it's a form of vulturism. Everybody needs to feed off of each other so that they can fill themselves, so they feel special, so they don't hate each other themselves, so that they can feel at peace. So I think I've summed it up in a very simple language. I think I've done a decent job to supremely simplified. You don't love yourself. Now I had to make it kitsch, didn't I? You don't love yourself. You don't even know who you are to love yourself. No, I love myself. I'm this, I'm that. I'm like, that's not who you are. This is the surface of yourself. You have to dive deep inside yourself to discover your very essence and what you're made of. That you're strong, you can run fast, that you have pretty hair and whatnot. These are superficial attributes. They may be there or not, may be removed. So, at the end of the day, that's what we're saying.